blood is thicker than water. This for our sons and our daughters. Parental Vision, the podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to Parental Vision. I'm your host. You know who it is. Bigro, a.k.a. Roland. And we got a special guest today. My man, Danny Rivera, a.k.a. Fluff Shots. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing, man? Thank you for
Real
having me.
quick, how many kids do you have?
I got 2 boys.
2 boys. What's their ages?
Got an 8-year-old and then soon to be 8 and then soon to be 2.
Wow. Why the big gap?
Let's just say after my first son, I learned my lesson. You know how they say you got to be very picky on who you have kids with.
Yeah.
So I learned a very big lesson at a young age. So
that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, that makes sense. And what do you believe is the best thing about being a father?
I think the best thing, you're teaching like all the skills that you learned up to today's day, or up to whenever you're taking all this knowledge and you're passing it on to your younger self.
Yep.
Trying to prevent that person from doing the same mistakes you had, or trying to guide them in a better life than what you were brought up in. So
I like how you say your younger self, because in essence it's you kind of get to get a second chance almost without putting your pressures on them. Just seeing what it's like. Okay, I had to deal with this growing up. I'm gonna make sure my kid doesn't have to deal with that, and just to see how what the difference is, and how they become a man, or grow up as a kid in school and whatnot. I think that's very important for parents, fathers especially, with their sons, not to put too much pressure on. Oh, I did this, so you have to do that too.
Yeah,
Just
no,
like
100%.
give them a chance to figure it out, and just give them the love and the support they need to make that happen.
Yeah.
I have a side question. If you're say your sons is at school, one of them come home and say, "Dad, I'm getting bullied at school. He hurt me today, or he punched me today, or whatever the case may be." How would you go about handling that situation?
Well, I actually just went through that situation a couple months ago. As you know, school it's summer, so kids aren't in school right now. So right before the summer ended, I guess there was a situation with my son. So my son, he was an only child for so long, so he never got the chance to like play fight with anyone.
Oh yeah.
He never was exposed to the real world, so he's very, still to this day, he's very like innocent in the sense,
Timid.
you know what I'm saying? Like, someone tries to fight him and he'll try to hug him, you know what I mean? So I guess there was a situation at school where these three boys were like bullying this little girl, and my son stepped up because he doesn't really like stuff like that. And they like smacked his glasses off his face.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, and we're talking second grade, you know what I'm saying? So
what?
So yeah, my son basically told me like that I got jumped today, and I'm like, wait, what? So I used to work at a school, so I already know the procedure. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to act like the crazy parent.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, like, a lot of stuff can happen when you turn around. Kids are very discreet. Kids will never like they're not gonna go to the adults in school. Sometimes they're gonna wait until they get home to tell you. So you can't really blame the school too much. Now if they don't take the proper actions, then that's when you gotta. So what I did, basically, me and his mother had a talk. We both went to the principal's office the next morning. We made them aware of it. They brought the kids in. Had a discussion with all 3 of them. They talked about, I guess my son was lying a little bit about certain situations.
Okay.
So, you just got to talk it out and just find out what the real problem is, because sometimes it's bigger than, like, the kids over exaggerate. So
Yeah.
you just, you got to be mature about it, and just play it by ear, play it by piece.
Yeah, because my mom came to school with me a couple times, and I may have embellished a little bit, and kind of made her look stupid, right?
Yep.
So then now I get that butt whooping when I get home, because you had me go up there thinking something else. Now you done lied to me, and now I gotta give you this whooping, because this is what you deserve.
No, I had something like that. I had something like that happen with me.
And with all the politics in school nowadays, man, you gotta pretty much walk on eggshells when you're trying to finagle what to do with your kids because they're trying to tell you what they're gonna do with your kids
100%.
without letting you know. So
I feel like parents have a hard time too. Like I think every parent thinks like, oh, my kid is like the perfect
yeah,
angel or whatever the case may be. But I'm pretty sure if you let your kids in a room with other kids and you just watch from the door, you're gonna find out who your kid really is. You know what I mean?
yep. And I don't understand why parents think that because you are not perfect and all the mistakes you made, and if that's your kid, they're gonna have some of your traits.
Yeah.
So you already know that they're not gonna be perfect. So you gotta kind of play it like, okay, he might have done
I
he
think it's
might have
more of
done
I
it.
think it's more like an ego thing with parents. You know what I'm saying? They don't want other parents to look at them like, oh, that's how they're being brought up, or that's
Hmm.
how. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like every kid has a different personality. Some kids are more hyper than others. It really sometimes doesn't even have to do with the parenting. If your kid is overly hyper, then the kid is overly
Exactly.
hyper. You
Yep.
just got to maneuver to his care. You know?
Yep. And yeah, overly hyper, ADHD, and all
Hmm.
that. I never. I know it's more like prescription. They're trying to the the company's trying to get money off giving kids pills and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
when I grew up, we never had it classified like that. Even though there were kids that may have had ADD or ADHD, it was just like, okay, that kid is a little hyper. Or but now it's
Yeah.
so many different categories to put these kids in. You don't know what's real or what's fake, or if they're acting, or if they really need it or not.
I
It's just
don't
it's
agree. Yeah, I
it's
don't
just
agree with either.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think, like I said, I used to work at a school and like specifically with behavior kids. So I would see kids be diagnosed with ADHD, and other things, and then you see them on a medicine, and you just see the difference in the kids. You see
Hmm.
them like it's like they're completely down. It's like, why would you want your kid like that when you could just put that energy to good use, put them in sports, put them
Yep.
in
Yep.
a band, put them in after school programs. They got Boys and Girls Club. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, there's so many things that you could put that energy into, besides having them walk around like a zombie. So
Yeah. Get them tired, man. That's
that's what
what
I'm
I say. Get
saying.
them
That's what I'm
tired.
saying.
Put them in them sports and them after school curricular activities, and get them tired. Wear
My
them
whole
out.
thing is that, bro, the park is free.
Yeah. Yeah.
The park is free. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
legit pull
Yeah.
up to the park, you
Yep.
get some sun
Yep.
yourself, you
Yep.
get some fresh air yourself, and you let your kids burn their energy. That's my
Yep.
favorite place.
Yep.
When I don't want to spend no money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We
Oh
pulling up to
yeah.
the park.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a hard time going to the park because I'm not a what you call an outside person.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I'll take my daughter there because she loves to go because it's grass. She can do backflips and
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff she want to do, and I'm just watching, or we'll go shoot some hoops for a little while. But after like an hour, I'm like, yeah,
It's
it's
time to
time.
go.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time to roll. It's time to roll.
Yeah.
But if you could give advice to a father that may be going through a hard time with their sons or their son, what would be some good advice that you would give as far as maybe they're acting up in school or maybe they're not listening, um, as far as how you would handle that with your two sons?
Um, I would say, I mean, one first things first, you always got to be firm with your boys. I feel like my oldest son, he's a goofball, so he
Mhm.
has the trouble of finding that line when I'm being serious or when I'm
When
playing,
you
because
playing
I
around,
play
yep,
around a lot too.
yep,
So I feel like you have to like draw that line. Like, listen, Daddy's not playing right now, so this is for real. I think the second thing is consistency. When you're there and you're constantly like telling them the same thing and like reminding them like
hmm
this isn't the way to do it, that helps as well. And the third thing, I think I would say incentives. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
everyone, even adults, you know what I'm saying? When you know you have something to work for, you're always gonna work harder. You're
yep,
gonna try
yep,
to
yep,
stay on
yep.
that straight path. So, incentives and deadlines. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you do this by a certain date. Look, this is what you're earning it, but you gotta stay true to it. If they didn't earn it, you can't be like, oh, this is my
Yeah,
baby boy.
I
Let
gotta
me
give it
give it
to
to
him.
him.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
unfortunately, you didn't earn it, so you didn't earn it, and
yeah.
that's a sad case.
Yeah, but that's hard lessons. That's what I feel like some of the things that is missing is those hard lessons. Like I'll tell my daughter, you have to do a week of coming home, hitting your homework, washing the dishes, making yourself lunch for the next day. You have to do a whole week of that, and you can earn $2 a day. So you could get yourself $10 at the end of the week,
Hmm.
which is not a lot, but all she likes to do is go to Five Below. So in her head, she's thinking, "Oh, I got two things I could buy at the end
Yeah.
of the week if I do these things." So she'll do 3 out of 5, but she still expect that $10. And I'm like, no, you did 3 out of 5, so you only get the six
But
dollars.
I feel like the biggest thing about it, because it's not only staying true if they don't follow through, but if they do follow through, you have to. That's more
Yep,
important.
yep,
You
yep,
have to stick through. Like
yep.
if you say you're gonna bring your kids somewhere, if they do something and they work their butt off the whole week and a half to do that just to earn that thing, you have to do
Yeah,
that.
you
I
gotta
don't care
do
if you
it.
got something
Yep,
planned,
yep, you gotta do
because
it. Yeah.
it's not going to be as valuable next time you try to do it, because they know like, oh, he playing, he might not take me. I might do all that work for nothing. It's not as
Yep.
encouraging. You feel
Yep.
me?
Yep. And they start to doubt.
They
They got
good.
that doubt and like, yeah, I'm not gonna do this because he doesn't even
Yeah,
stick
stick
to
to
his
his word.
word.
Yeah,
And
100%.
yeah, so and I'm gonna get light real quick as we start to wrap up. What do you say is your son's favorite places to go? Place or places to spend time besides the obvious video games and
Yeah,
like when you're
yeah.
going out, like, Dad, I can't wait till the weekend because we're going here. Well,
So my youngest son, he's too young to even like express anything at this point, but he's down to go wherever. He's anywhere
yeah,
we put
yo, he's a
him.
happy baby.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
happy
that's
baby.
what's up.
My second son, the regular Chuck E. Cheese. He likes going to like amusement parks. I used to take him to like the trampoline park a
Yeah,
lot.
yep, yep, yep.
We try to do different things. Next month we're going to Disney World.
Oh yeah,
So
and in Florida.
yeah,
Yeah.
Disney
Oh
World
yeah,
or
because
Orlando.
Disneyland is California.
Yeah, I messed up because I had printed out the tickets, like some custom tickets, just to make it look more fancy than the regular tickets that
Mm-hmm.
you would get. And I put Disneyland, so he's not dumb. He went on Google.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, we're going to California," and I'm like, "No, we're
No,
not.
yeah,
No, you're
no,
not. We're
we're not
not going to
going out there.
California." But yeah, man. I stuff like that. Like I said, he's simple. My even my oldest is the park. Like it's free.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
anything. My son is just, he likes to be interactive. He likes to play. He's an
Yeah,
innocent kid.
yeah.
So anything like that.
Riding bikes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, hundred
Kids
percent.
don't even do stuff like that no more.
Yeah,
Everybody on the game so much that nobody they play with their friends, but not in person.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just we're on a computer, we're on a game, we talking on a headset, but
yeah.
you're not really like spending quality time with your friends and getting
Hmm.
into trouble and getting out of trouble and riding your bikes down to the park and hooping and all the stuff I used to do as a kid. That's done.
Well, I gotta say, I'm real thankful for my kid, man, because he's on that. Like, even though he was born in a different time than us, um, he's like literally in his own world. Like, he's not really trying to fit into, like, if all the kids are like, he likes video games. Don't get me wrong, but if that's not his thing today, he just won't do it. It's not like he
Okay.
has to wake up and do it every day because he likes it. It's like, if it's not him today, he's not him. If he wants to go outside, that's what he'll do. If he wants to go play with chalk, that's what he'll do. Like half the time he's drawing. I feel like he's gonna become like
Be
an
an artist,
artist. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And he, when I'm doing my camera things, he'll tag along, and by himself he'll start asking me questions like, "Dad, what's that? Dad, what's that?" So like, I'm letting that little curiosity fly into any direction he wants to bring it to. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
I'm thankful for that.
that's cool, man. That's really good. It's important too because when you spending that type of time with your kids, they appreciate it more, man. They
Yeah,
they realize and they could see other kids that either complaining or not getting the time with their parents that they're getting, and they when they get older, they start to appreciate that more and more. So
100%.
that's a good thing, man.
And that's another reason why I'm happy that I waited so long to have my second son. I had my first son at a young age, so I felt like I wasn't really like, really didn't hit me as hard that, oh, like, you're a father. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was still
yeah.
trying to be out with my boys and
Yep.
play flag football and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then so me having a second son at 26, 27, I'm more like babyish with him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's always on my side. I'm more
Mm-hmm.
like, that's like literally my baby. And like, not saying the first one isn't, but you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's a different. I'm more mature now
Yeah,
in my
it's a
head.
different age. You're at a different
Yeah,
age compared to
100%.
what was it,
You
6 years
appreciate
prior?
you appreciate the time more. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like my oldest is like, I blinked and he's almost 10. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But the little one, it's like I'm appreciating every little moment because this is my second time.
You know, your second go around trying to get it right.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Instead of missing out on all that opportunity. Yep.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you for
Real
having
quick,
me.
what's Fluff Shots? Let the people know what that is.
That's my name. That's what I built myself into. I'm a photographer, videographer. So the nickname Fluff came from football, and then it followed me over into the camera world, and
Gotcha.
just put it together. Fluff Shots. Yeah.
You got a Fluff Shots.
Yes,
That's very, very creative, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being on the show today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
We'll get you some behind the scenes footage and all that good stuff after.
100%.
Thank you guys for tuning in. It's your boy Ro, aka Roland. We here on Parental Vision with my man Danny Fluff Shots, and we doing it like that.
Like blood is thicker than water. This for our sons and our daughters. Parental Vision, the podcast.